Hello, Bible readers. If you liked Psalm 14, which might not be right on the tip of your mind, but if you did, then you're going to love Psalm 53 because they're almost exactly the same. Do flip back to Psalm 14 after you've read Psalm 53. You're going to be surprised. I didn't know this ever happened in the Psalms, but with the exception of verse 5 and a couple other very minor differences, Psalm 53 is a duplicate of Psalm 14. They both paint a picture of a corrupt society that's gonna face judgment. And what they also both do is they each fit well in their surroundings. My Brueggemann and Bellinger commentary says that each psalm plays a very similar role in their part of the Psalter itself. Like as the Psalter flows, both in the early book 1 and now this part of book 2, each of them holds a similar spot. So Psalm 53, for example, is continuing a theme that Psalm 52 had, that enemies and their downfall is going to happen. A couple important distinctions, though, and like one question I had was, well, if they're duplicates, was a mistake made where, maybe it's the exact same psalm and they just appear twice, like why not just for efficiency's sake only have it appear once? But there are some distinctions, some distinctiveness between the two. One is that Psalm 53 is a part of the Elohistic Psalter. I think I've referred to this at least once before, but Psalms 42 to 83 are considered Elohistic because when a psalmist refers to or addresses God in these Psalms 42 to 83, he does not always say Yahweh, that Yahweh name for God. He uses in these Psalms 42 to 83 a more generic term, Elohim. Yahweh is the proper name for God. Elohim feels a little more distant, a little less relational, almost like saying, well, I like my teacher a lot. Well, that's more distant, shows less of a relational quality than to say, I like Tom Clark a lot, calling my teacher by name. That is saying, you might know that by me calling this person by name, I have a certain affection for that teacher as opposed to this other person I might just call my teacher, a little more distant. One is just more personal. So that's a wee little difference. Notable, important, significant, but not really a giant big deal. And then there's also the superscription, according to Mahalath. Well, that refers to the tune one should use when singing this psalm. Much like our hymn books have the author of the lyrics and the credits below the hymn, and also the tune that those lyrics are typically sung to, or at least that the notes correspond to above those credits. And then also the meter is offered, all meant to be helpful toward the person who's playing the hymn and toward those who are singing the hymn. Well, some psalms suggest a tune, Mahalath in this case. A maskil, this is another part of the superscription, a maskil is an instructive poem. So the superscription is basically saying one of David's instructive poems to be sung to this tune, Mahalath. I know I spoke more to form than substance in this post, in this deep dive, but trust me, Psalm 54 is going to bring us back into the interpretation game. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.